You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless.
Now welcome to the Black NewsBeat with your host, Dr. Kimeka Campbell!
Welcome to the Black NewsBeat, everyone online and at the bar. We like them over there. Thanks, guys. We are live tonight at Midtown Cinema, and we have a lot of things to cover tonight. The first thing I'd like to do is see, how are y'all doing? How's it going? Everybody okay? It's been a long 3 days of the week. So many things have happened, and it is only Wednesday. It's very hard to fathom. So welcome. It's December 17th. That means there are 8 days until Christmas. Can you guys believe it? I can't believe it. It is National Maple Syrup Day, which I think is very important. And it is also Wright Brothers Day. So we are sweet and we are soaring. And tomorrow it is International Migrants Day. Isn't that something? 1 week before Christmas, International Migrants Day. While ICE is kicking people out of their homes all across the country. Very interesting. It's also National Twin Day. And every year I like to shout out my brothers, Eric and Thomas. They are identical twins. So shout out to y'all. It's y'all's day tomorrow. And even though I won't be seeing you for Christmas, I always like to celebrate my twin brothers around the holidays, even though their birthday's not till May. And it's also just a perfect time for a conversation on dignity, belonging, and all the ways our stories marry each other and kind of fold together. So it's a great thing that we're going to talk about some of those things tonight. And this is our last show of season 5. Nobody cares? We have completed season 5. Yay. Okay. Thank you. 3.5 folks. Now, why that's important is because we started this show in Black History Month of 2020, and it has been a journey. And it's funny because I talked about this last show. I'm thankful for you guys and your support because it's been really instrumental in making sure that we keep going. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching the reels that are made from the show. Thank you for interacting online. I appreciate you so much. And we're just grateful for every watch, every share, and every time y'all have pulled up. We're very, very appreciative. So we're going to celebrate what we have built together, and we're going to set the table for what's next. So let's see what we have going on around the world before we hear from our special guest tonight. Mr. AKBAR Ali and Miss Sherry Parks-Taylor are here tonight. Woo! Yes, I'm very excited. So let's see what's going on around the world and in Harrisburg. Let's sweep these streets. Let's see what's going on. First story, we're starting sad. I just want to let y'all know we are starting out sad. So the first thing that happened this week was there was a pregnant woman that was dragged by ICE in Minneapolis. And we all have seen what has been happening with ICE around the country and how difficult it's been to watch the horrors that have been happening. Over 270, nearly 300 American citizens have been detained in these ICE sweeps, and tens of thousands of people have been ripped from their loved ones as well. So the viral video shows federal agents pinning a woman face down in the snow and dragging her. Minneapolis police chief publicly criticized the conduct while ICE and witnesses dispute the details. What you saw in the video was her literally being dragged by her arm into a vehicle. We don't know whether or not she's a citizen or not, but one of the things that the young man that was on the scene said, and you can see this reel on our Facebook page for Black NewsBeat and on Instagram, is that they don't know why they were harassing them because all that were left here were American citizens. So what are they going to do? Are they going to harass American citizens? And my answer was yes. And I want you to know that this is because the Senate right now has a report on 22 Americans across 10 states that have been detained and brutalized in ICE custody, including more pregnant women. So this pregnant woman was not the first to be detained in Minneapolis, and sadly, she will not be the last. We have to make sure that we are writing to our members of Congress, that we are speaking out and speaking up, that we're joining the protests, that we are protecting the lives of the people that we think are the least of these. You know why? Because if we don't, what's going to happen is that it could be us next. So this is something that we want to think about. American citizens are already being detained. So when is it going to be time to speak up for you and for me? Just something to think about. So use of force on pregnant people raises serious safety and accountability questions. And my take is this: policy debates aside, this requires transparent review, clear rules of engagement, and consequences where warranted. How do you all want your local officials to respond when federal agents spill onto our streets? This has already been happening in Harrisburg, so if you didn't know this already, ICE has already been here. People have already been ripped from our families right here in our locale, in our municipality. So this is something that is absolutely touching close to home. Now, this is a very interesting turn of events, because if you didn't see, yesterday, the one Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, he said that he was not bringing ACA subsidies to the floor for a vote. Boo! He said he was not bringing ACA subsidies to the floor for a vote of the House. And what happened was a handful of Republicans broke ranks and signed a discharge petition to force a vote extending enhanced ACA subsidies after Speaker Mike Johnson declined that move. This matters because in January, 4 million people will completely lose coverage and 20 million more people will see huge increases in their coverage starting in January. So this is very important for us to make sure that we are keeping track of how many people their subsidies are going to go away and their premiums are going to go up. I see people talking about 150%, 200%, 300%. Some people's premiums are going from $200 to $300 to well over $2,000. So this is all something that we need to really take care of. Somebody asked on my Facebook page, well, why, if healthcare is cheap, then we wouldn't need subsidies. So why do we need subsidies if healthcare is cheap? Well, this is a circular question that doesn't really get to the heart of the issue. And the heart of the issue is you cannot have for-profit healthcare and expect to take care of everyone. You just can't. That's not how it works. So as long as healthcare stays for-profit and our government refuses to clamp down on that, we're going to need something so that people don't go broke getting a lung infection, having to have their appendix removed, or having to go to the emergency room. So that is why healthcare is expensive and why we still need subsidies. Next up on our list, this one, and we're getting into happier times, thank goodness. Jasmine Crockett is running for the U.S. Senate. And the bar like that. I see they like that, okay? And my wonderful audience here. Hi, audience. How y'all doing? So she announced her bid to challenge Senator John Cornyn in 2026. Also, Mr. Tellerico is also on the Democratic side challenging. And what's interesting about this is that folks decided that once Jasmine Rep. Crockett announced that they were going to then say that she all of a sudden was a Zionist, that she was such a terrible person, and all of a sudden the attack started early. Even Governor Abbott came out and said that if she won, he would resign. Well, Godspeed, Jasmine, to the Senate. Yeah, hurry up and get there. We would love for Governor Abbott to resign into obscurity and leave Texans alone, and subsequently United States alone. It reshapes Texas and national maps. Also spotlights a rising black woman voice with a trial lawyer's smoke for any debate stage. I can't wait. On her merit of being a great lawyer alone, her track record speaks for itself. I can't wait to see the debates. So I'm going to bookmark it. Turnout plus coalition building will decide this race more than cable hits. This one was quite interesting that I want to talk about next. Honey, Vanity Fair did a hit piece on Carolyn Levitt's lips, honey. I mean, first of all, it was the whole team took a hit, but Caroline Levitt's lips took a hit, honey. I did a little thing on it. They did a close-up of her lips, and all you could see was the lip filler injections. Child, it was bad. It was bad. Like, she didn't even wait a day before she put the lip gloss on top of them lip filler injections. I'm so sorry, girl. And I incorrectly said it was Botox, but if it was Botox, she wouldn't have had all the wrinkles that were all sitting on top of the lip fills. So it was a lot going on there. And people like, Kimeka, how can you make to feel so comfortable making fun of Caroline Levitt? Absolutely, because she makes a joke of the American people every day by lying to us, so we don't like her. So it was a stark, extreme close-up portrait of the press secretary that drew fire online. The photographer defended the style as consistent with his political portraiture work. They also photographed Marco Rubio. They also photographed J.D. Vance and a couple others. All the portraits looked like they were absorbing the evil that they are putting out into the world. That's what it looked like to me. So it was very weird and interesting to see those portraits. And then also there was a matter of Trump's chief of staff, who I feel like she's the ops, because she was given the worst quotes to the paper for them to spin. Like, I know people be spinning stuff, but she also was like, yeah, Trump's in the files. He didn't do anything wrong, though. She's like, yeah, it was a lot. So my question of the week is his chief of staff the ops? I feel like she might be. I do. And why does any of this matter? Well, there's a line between editorial choice and aesthetic bias, especially for women in power. Again, I am perfectly fine and comfortable making fun of Caroline Levitt. People have come to my page and said, you're mean for making fun of these women. These are awful people. And the least of your worries is me making fun of your Botox or lack thereof and lip filler. That's the least of your worries. So political scrutiny, should it be political scrutiny over appearance discourse? There's one woman named Suzanne on TikTok, and she mercilessly makes fun of MAGA makeup things, MAGA makeup trends. And it's funny because that's the only thing that riles up the MAGA women. So it's very interesting to see how people kind of use that as a critique in a very interesting political landscape. Well, let's move to the local, because we do have some local news. Because, honey, did the Broad Street Wall Market collapse? Or did it collapse? Did the wall collapse? And folks were online saying, it's the mayor's fault. And so what happened was, during construction, a large section of the brick building's wall, which, remember, it burned down, was that 2 years ago and a half? Lord, my goodness. 22? So that's 2.5 years, no, wow, 3.5 years ago. That was 3 years ago?
That's crazy.
Time is flying. Okay, so 3.5 years ago, because it was July 2022, right after Juneteenth, that's right. And so during construction, a large section of the brick wall fell. Officials said no injuries and noted the incident showed structural instability. But it looks like a construction site failure on a long, complicated road to rebuilding, not a singular blame the mayor moment. And if you're going to blame anybody, we also need to blame Mayor Pappenfuse, because, you know, I like blaming him for a lot of stuff. So if we're going to blame mayors, we also got to bring him back into the mix. So I think folks should stay focused on oversight, safety, and getting the vendors back. That's what we all want in the city. And to that effect, we do have the one, the only Miss Sherry Parks Taylor on the show tonight. She is the Broad Street Market Manager. So we'll be talking to her about some market things. And so what updates do you, as the audience, Harrisburg, and from around the region, what do you need to feel comfortable shopping at the market again? Because, listen, the building is going to open up eventually. They're open an extra day of the week. So on Wednesdays now, right, Sherry? Yes, so we're open on Wednesdays. So what we want y'all to come, we want y'all to shop, and also help cheer on the rebuilding of the oldest market in the nation, as a matter of fact. Yeah, that's a true story. Continuously functioning market in the nation, yes. And even now, they are continuously functioning, even with a brick wall falling down, honey. My goodness. And another bit of good news. Okay, so that was so-so news, but Sherry's going to come give us more great news about the market, because she's been doing a great job. But we did have another restaurant opening in Harrisburg. So a beloved soul food comfort spot finds a home at the old 231. Did y'all know this? Yes. Yes, Hershey-based Sweet Tea and Greens is moving from a market stand to a full restaurant at 231 North Street, the former home of Home 231, and serving upscale comfort food with Southern roots. Oh, it sounds delicious. I can't wait. So listen, I like local Black food things. Anything to do with local black and brown food, I'm with it. I'm eating the tacos, honey. I'm eating the Dominican food. I'm eating all of it, especially soul food. You're going to catch us at Men in the Kitchen this Friday for the YPOC holiday shindig. So our holiday liddy, and we're going to eat their delicious food. But a local Black foodways influence menu joining Midtown's comeback and Downtown's comeback. That is the community that we want and need on a plate. We need it. And so my take is pull up to opening week, BYOB, and don't forget to be kind to the staff, okay? Because we want them to stay. We want them to stay downtown, into Midtown. Now we're moving into my favorite segment. It's called Media and Melanin. Dun, dun, dun. If you're online, I want you to look these up because these are my two favorite movies that I've watched. I stayed up all night packing to go to PA Society weekend, which I will tell you about in the next segment. But I had a delightful time watching these two movies. The first one is called Love After Holidays. Both of these are on BET. You can watch them if you have a Prime membership or if you are really good at getting around on the internet. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. So a once beloved talk show host battles addiction, men's relationship, and reaches for a second chance during the holidays. I really like this one. It was definitely a redemption arc. It was definitely like, you know, it's not like a theater movie. It's not, you know, your favorite mainstream white actress battling addiction, but it is a story that is very least told in cinema of a black woman battling addiction and the road to redemption and the road to recovery. So I was really happy to check this out. And even though it was a little corny, but I loved it because I love corny. It was such an important message, and I would encourage everyone to check it out. So that's Love After Holidays. You can find it on BET or wherever you are clever enough to get your movies. All right, you saw it. Okay, you got it. You checked it out. It's a cozy but grown accountability, amends, and a little mistletoe. A solid watch when you want a little heart with your cocoa, or if you're a last-minute packer like me and you wait till 11 p.m. to pack for a 5 a.m. takeoff. That's okay. Don't worry about that. The next movie we have is Son of the Preacher, also on Prime/BET or wherever you get your movies. This one was interesting because it was a beauty entrepreneur teaming up with a preacher kid influencer. So he's a little wild, running around half the movie with his shirt off. You know the type, okay? Standard preacher's child, preacher's kid. Sparks fly as romance, church politics, and family secrets collide. Dun, dun, dun. And boy, is it a hell of a twist in that one. Very interesting. It matters because faith, spaces, small business hustle, and messy love are all, I think, a part of so many people's stories. And so it was very cute in that way. It felt very familiar dynamics for community, for family, for all these different things. So I thought it was a good watch. And plus, I like when a church gets exposed on TV. That is my favorite thing. Let me tell you, y'all watch Greenleaf? It's like a mini, tiny Greenleaf church exposure. Expose it all. I love it. So that's a big thing for me. If you're going to expose the church, I'm there to watch it. So think some side-eye in chemistry, lighter than fruit cake, but sweeter than pound cake. It's very cute, very sweet, and the perfect group watch. You can have your friends over to laugh at the corny bits and also kind of, you know, a little tear at the really sincere bits. I loved it. Text the group chat and tell them we've got church tea and holiday glow in one, because that's what Son of the Preacher is. And woo, we made it through the first segment. Look at us. So the last thing I love to talk about is events coming up. And this week I'm going to be a little heavy on YPOC events because number one, we have our YPOC Holiday Liddy at Men in the Kitchen. It's going to be so much fun. We always have fun at our holiday party because it's the one time we let loose, play games. People get a little competitive, but it's okay. It's the holidays and they calm back down pretty quickly. Some of them not quick enough, but that's okay because then there's also alcohol to help. Sometimes it doesn't help, but whatever. You get my point. It's going to be fun. We're going to be we're going to start at 7 p.m. at Men in the Kitchen. We usually go to like 10, 10, 11. People go out after, have a good time. It's a wonderful night in Harrisburg. And you all know how much we love Harrisburg at the YPOC. And I also ask, are you a member of YPOC? Yeah. If you're not a member, oh, look at all these members in here. Look at that. Usually when I ask people are like, what's a YPOC? So young professionals of color in Greater Harrisburg, please come out. Please hang out with us for the YPOC Liddy. It costs $20. And members get a little bit of a rebate. So please come out and hang out with us for that. We're going to have a good time. And on Sunday, 2 days later, we are having our YPOC Vision Planning Party on Sunday, December the 21st. This is a really nice time. We invite the community out to these as well because we want you to help us plan what 2026 is going to look like. So please come out. Please have fun with us. We're going to be at La Cultura, 19.5 North 4th Street. Yes, there is a half. You know, people ask me if the half is real. The half is real. It's 19.5. We got a couple of halves around Harrisburg. We got some on Front Street. We got some down in Shipoh, Front Street, Second Street. There's a bunch of weird halves, but it is a real address, 19 and a half at Culture & Co. La Cultura. And we'll be planning what YPOC is going to look like for 2026. Also look out for the holiday variety show, December 19th at Strawberry Square. Shout out to Sarah Bozich. And I just want to recap PA Society Weekend for you guys. Myself and Yanni Williams, shout out to our culture chair at YPOC, Culture and Creativity Chair. We went to New York City for PA Society Weekend. It's this razzle-dazzle weekend with all these different folks. They've got a million receptions. It is a beautiful time. And I was really happy to see, my favorite event is actually, it's called the Women of Legacy Breakfast. And that is the first thing we do every year. So this is our 4th year running. And this is the first thing we do every year. We go ahead and we look at, we attend the Women of Legacy Breakfast. And we get inspired and we look at the lives of Black women across the state of Pennsylvania who are doing amazing things. CEOs working in the banking sector, in hospitals, in hotels and entertainment. It was such a beautiful time, and that just sets the weekend off right for us. And then we get to see all kinds of really ritzy, gorgeous places like the Kimberly Hotel, went to the Waldorf Astoria for a reception, and other really cool places in MIC. And if you've never been to New York in December, it is gonna get you in the holiday spirit. December New York is the best New York. So I had a good time, got into the spirit, also went to the dispensary because that's legal there. And it was such a fun time. And this dispensary is called the Travel Agency. Really cute, like really ritzy. So, you know, there were like holiday trees and then there were trees inside. They had a trees display for the holidays. It was real nice. And if there are any other events that you know of, you know, put it up on the page for us. We would love to hear about what you're doing for the holidays. We'll be leaving and getting out of town for a few days to go visit friends and family. But we want to hear about what you're doing too. All right. Well, that is the end of segment 1. And thank y'all for sticking with us. Thanks. We'll be right back with our first interview with Miss Sherry Parks Taylor, the Broadsheet Market Manager. Yay.
I'm just gonna apply some pressure, okay?
When minutes matter, you have the power to save a life.
I served in the Air Force for 23 years. I was proud to stand for my country. But I'm not gonna stand for what Congressman Scott Perry is doing in Washington. He's forgotten about us. Perry voted to cut health care that veterans rely on. That's just not right. We deserve our health care, and Congressman Perry is trying to take it away to give more tax cuts to billionaires. That's just cruel. I'm an independent. I care about issues that impact veterans. I wish Congressman Perry would stand with us.
Oh, you can't hear me, huh? How about now? Oh, this your moment, ayy. Not right now. If you a hating nigga, please pipe down. Cause I don't know if it's we the beat, this bitch too loud. I was down bad, I ain't had no cash. Now these hoes mad cause the camera lights flash. I was down bad, I ain't had no cash. Now these hoes mad cause the camera lights flash. Bitch, I'm a boss, I only focus on.
Leslie Avila just published her book, Journey to Freedom, and states, if you love women, read this book. And if you hate women, read this book as well. Have you ever seen such eyes? These eyes so wise, these eyes that mesmerize. You're invited to grab a cup of delicious, delightful hot tea while you read this book in order to enjoy to its maximum capacity. Welcome to my delightful world. I invite you to leave your world behind and step into mine for just a period of time. This book was written for you. You can purchase it now at delightisfull.com.
10 more seconds. Ooh, now I gotta cool down.
Leslie Avila just published her book. La Tiendita is Harrisburg's premier store for everything Ecuador. In this store, you will find a variety of cultural and traditional products and ingredients like chocolate that you can't find anywhere else in Harrisburg. La Tiendita also ships packages directly to Ecuador. If you have any family or friend, you can also do a direct money wire transfer to their bank account in Ecuador. La Tiendita is open every morning at 8:30 a.m. and you can find them at 3126 Sycamore Street, right here in Harrisburg.
And we are back. Thank you for joining and staying with us. Hi, guys, going to the movies. Enjoy your movie, okay? Have a good time. Welcome back to Black News Beat. And I am here with Miss Sherri Parks Taylor. Sherri Parks Taylor has led, yes, clap it up for her. She's led the Broad Street Market since April, bringing years of operations and facilities experience from the PA Chamber. She's reframing what the market can mean for Midtown and the city. One more time, please welcome Sherri. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
How you feeling?
Well, it's been a week.
I know. I was like, let's check in. I know it's been amazing.
The year's tumbling to a close.
We really only have 13, 14 more days.
Yes.
That's it. That's all we got. 2 more weeks.
I count my
That's all
life
we
in
got.
market days now. So like a week is 3 days long.
I was going to say, what's a market day?
Thursday, Friday,
Thursday,
Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. And well, now you have Wednesday.
Now Wednesday.
Wednesday to Saturday.
Yeah, Wednesday is a day that the market was open previously.
Yes.
I think pre-COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we have a lot of people that are interested in it coming back.
Yeah.
Have not expressed this interest the past 5 Wednesdays. But we are hopefully turning this into a Winter Wednesday to
Yes.
extend it a little bit longer.
Oh, I love
and
that.
see if we can gain some more interest before spring.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think it will come back. I don't think a lot of people knew the market was open on Wednesdays.
No,
so
no.
maybe we got to do a little campaign. Maybe we
Yeah.
can talk about it here on the NewsBeat
Yes.
and spread it around. But yes, so give us the quick and dirty origin story. Where are you from and what brought you to Harrisburg?
Oh God. I'm from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn in the house.
I
Okay, go
moved here in 2019 with my husband.
Wow.
Maybe about 5 months before COVID started.
Wow.
So that was my first introduction to
So
Harrisburg.
like summer.
Which was, everything was locked down.
Yep.
There was no one around. And fortunately, the market was still open.
Yes.
So my first introduction to the city really was, well, where are we going to go eat that's cheap, that we can afford,
Right.
that we can sit down, that we can space out 10 feet, 15 feet apart.
Exactly.
And then go back home. So I think maybe my first year here, I think I was probably at the market every single week.
Wow.
I also learned to drive while I was in Harrisburg and got my first car.
Because being a Brooklynite.
So the market was also the closest thing to my house that I could go without
makes
having to get on transportation. So it's been a 6-year journey
Yeah.
here. Originally coming here from New York, my instinct at first, me and my husband were, we got to get out of here. We got to go home every weekend.
Right.
And then that turned into every 2 weeks. And I think now in my 6th year, I probably go back to New York maybe 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
So I really try to invest more into the city. Coming from a background of tourism, I've done about 15 years in luxury hospitality.
Luxury. What is luxury hospitality?
So luxury hospitality for the hotel sector is anything that's 4-star, 5-star hotels.
Got it.
And so for that, the focus is more on service and quality. Everyone is a name, you're not a number, right?
Yeah.
And so I prefer kind of like a boutique style, local hotel. That has been where I thrive the most. And funnily enough, although the market is so huge, it's 5,000 to 8,000 square feet, it still has that same quality of, I think I've been here 9 months, I know maybe 100 people by name, you know, who are regular customers, who are regular guests. So it's very similar to the luxury space in that where you have a lot of return clientele, they want quality, they're here for a specific person at a specific time, and they want things a certain way.
Right.
So it's very similar.
That's
I don't
interesting.
think Harrisburg really sees itself that way.
No, we've talked about that. No.
But something that I've learned living here with the going back and forth to New York, my major complaint living here was tourism.
Yeah.
And I said, I am someone who is not practicing what I preach.
Yeah.
So I leave and I go spend money in Philly and I go spend money in New York and I go spend money in DC. And so I think 2024, me and my husband, we made an active, conscious decision to stop doing that.
That's
so
amazing.
We have been focusing more on the community.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so now you've given us your origin story, telling us how you really come to really love and live in Harrisburg, which I think is great. So tell us now, you have been managing the Broad Street Market through a tough rebuild. It's been tough.
It's been tough.
So what has that experience been like so far?
The positive side is that a lot of the drama has occurred before I got here.
Yeah.
So I got an opportunity to kind of coast right in to the rebuild is happening and construction is starting. And the tent has been here. I think I started in April, so the tent made a year that May, right? And so as far as the vendors are concerned, they're kind of settled in and have all the information that they want. If they want to know something, they have a pretty good relationship with the board. They have their own relationships with the city. I think a lot of times people forget that the vendors at the market are independent business owners who have been business owners for a very long time, and they have their own access and their own relationships. So that part has been really smooth. So I try not to complain too much about that because I know a lot of people have done the heavy lifting for me before I got here. However, the construction starting at such a delay from the time that the fire happened.
Yeah. And what is the time on that? 2 years?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yeah.
So I think the anxiousness and the anxiety around that stirs up a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to diminish anyone's feelings and speak for the vendors, but I can say there's a lot of media outreach that just wants to know how everyone feels, what everyone thinks. And they're just at the point where their feelings are at a bare minimum. Their thoughts on the topic are expressed over the last 2.5 years.
Right.
And they don't really have much to say
They don't want to talk about it anymore.
And so, you know, I'm like this to the news media the other day. I'm like, this is like borderline harassment. You gotta leave them alone.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, a lot of vendors from the brick building moved on.
Yeah.
And they have their
sad.
own businesses, right?
Or good.
And you know, and so the people that are here in the tent are very anxious to get back into the building, but their experience of the last 2.5 years are not the same as those who have never come back.
That's right.
And I think a lot of the vendors are concerned that those stories are being lost, and that outreach is being lost as well, because there are people who have lost their businesses and they are not even in the food and beverage industry anymore. And so a lot of their passion has gone with that. And so you don't have to worry too much about the people that are here because they're making money, you know. So I hope that we revisit that conversation. I hope that the news and the media kind of revisits some of the people that were with the market for 2014 to 2022,
Right.
and we don't talk about it anymore.
I mean, that sounds like a really actually great project to find them, see how they're doing, and do a little story on them. Interesting. And maybe woo them back to the market.
And see how they feel, because I'm sure there's some strong opinions
Oh, absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. I'm sure. I am sure. So wins should be celebrated, especially with vendors, holiday programs, relationships, and small changes that mattered. What has that been like for you? I know you've been doing a lot in the event space with the market and really bringing the market to life in that way. So tell us about that.
So a major difference in living in a major city in hospitality is that it is a 365-day-a-year business. So it was very interesting to me when I took this role, how is this going to look on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? What am I going to do? So I carved out my administrative days, days that I'm going to do inventory, days that I'm going to really connect with the vendors. And then I find myself in an empty building. So yes, I have an office and I'm doing administrative work, and then I'm done. And it's 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. and I go outside, and Midtown is moving and grooving. There are people coming and going up and down the street from different restaurants. And after maybe, I guess, spring and summer of just kind of watching this week after week after week after week after week, naturally in my New Yorker brain, I said, I'm sitting on 5,000 square feet of venue space, of facility space that we rent, but through the city of Harrisburg, we don't own. My vendors are here, so I'm operating. My electric is on, my gas is on, everyone's prepping, but we're not making any money. The building is not making any money. Why are we not making any money? And so I have conversations like, is it a city issue? No, they don't care. Is it a board issue? No, they don't care. The vendors issue? No, no one cares. And so I said, okay, we're having events. Now, the problem with events is before you charge someone for a venue space that they only know as a farmer's market, you kind of have to have events to show them what an event will look like, right? What does this market look like closed? What does it look like after 7 p.m.? Some people haven't even been to that market after 4 o'clock. What does it look like on a Saturday night? And so I reached out to some amazing organizations, YPOC being one of them, Friends of Midtown, Midtown Property Management, who's our property management company, and lured them into having holiday parties at the market. And really it was a plea. I just told them this crazy idea and said, I need pictures, I need life, I need the vendors to see it, even the vendors that aren't participating. I need word of mouth. I've learned here in Harrisburg that word of mouth travels really fast, and you can either use it to your advantage or you cannot. And so we've had back-to-back holiday parties nonstop for the last 2 months.
Nonstop. Did we kick off the season?
You did.
Yeah.
And so far, I booked a wedding.
Wow.
For next year, paid. I booked a surprise birthday party, paid for next year. And 0 Day actually moved an event over there for next year as well, which is great. And so I'm hoping for more. But that is not only is it a revenue source for the market, where for me and my operations mind is a nonprofit, I don't have staff, and we don't sell a product, right? So the building itself has to be able to make money in some sort of way. It's also great for the community, We had our Christmas tree lighting there. We did a pumpkin carving festival there. And even myself, I always felt like when I moved here, I have to leave and go over to the West Shore to do something that I thought was fun or wholesome or maybe family-oriented. And I see the same people here at the market every day.
Absolutely.
And a lot of Midtown residents and Uptown residents, a lot of Allison Hill residents. And when you hear their plans, they're always, well, I'm going to drive here, I'm going to drive here, I'm going to drive there.
Absolutely.
And I said to myself, especially for the Christmas tree lighting, which YPOC helped me a lot again.
It is our pleasure.
In a panic.
It's our pleasure.
why can't you just walk out your house and walk 5 blocks to something happening in your neighborhood?
Absolutely.
When you do have 20,000 square feet of facility space sitting in the middle of Harrisburg.
Yeah.
And so my goal is to get more of our residents to think of the market as that space. When you think of like this is a community space,
Yeah.
think of like, oh, I could have my wedding here. I could
my birthday
have
party here.
a high school reunion here. I could have
I
my
could have my
birthday
birthday
party.
dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could do an event for my company here.
Yes.
Utilize it in a way that it supports a need that you have and not just your belly. We appreciate your bellies.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so that's that.
That's an amazing answer. And I just wanted to shout out again, I talked about it last time, but the Christmas tree lighting was phenomenal.
It was so great.
It was a phenomenal event in Midtown. I have never seen anything like it, and I've been here for 15 years. People always gonna tell me, well, you just got here. We had stuff like that back in the day. I'm just saying, for how long I've been here, that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. And it was amazing. So
And it was
congratulations.
fun.
It was fun. We had
Yes.
fire pits going.
Yes.
We had marshmallows toasting. We had music. We had the tree lighting. We counted down. It was all the
The
stuff you
goal
like.
was Hallmark, which is honestly one
Yeah.
of the reasons we moved to Harrisburg.
Yeah.
My husband's uncle lives in Pottstown, and when we first moved here, because it was COVID, I was able to go to a lot of places and there was no one around.
Yeah.
And I just kept saying, oh, it's so cute. Oh, everyone's so adorable. And my husband kept saying, stop calling everyone adorable and cute. And like I would go to Capital City Mall, I'm like, oh, it's so cute, it's so adorable. But the charm is, I think, something also that a lot of Harrisburg residents forget that they have. That people,
Absolutely.
I've had my friends come here and they're from Long Island and Queens and the Bronx, and they come here and then we go downtown or we go somewhere and they say the same things.
Yeah.
It's so cute, so adorable. But so cute, so adorable had one of my friends buy $1,000 worth of art from Millworks.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
so I think that it's really important when we do little things like that for the residents to rediscover how charming and sweet
Absolutely.
Harrisburg can be without security, without the police,
100%.
without barricades, just
All that.
adults policing adults.
One of the funnest parts about the tree lighting was I was out there with my 0-day beer.
Yes.
Product placement. I'm gonna get a sponsorship for the show one day. Just in beer. I just want a sponsorship in beer. Okay. And I was out there with my cup, and somebody was like, "Where did you get that cup?" And I was like, 0 days open
Yeah.
inside of the market. And they ran, and by the time I went back over there to get a second beer, people were 4 deep all the way
Yes.
around the bar.
And I do want to shout out the city of Harrisburg
Yes.
for that, because as much as I've reached out to different organizations for these crazy little ideas, I have sent probably some of the strangest emails to the city over the past few months between, you know, needing a water heater and
Yeah.
putting down rubber floors in the tent, and am I allowed to put a Christmas tree up on the corner? Do I
Right.
need a permit? And I'm gonna have fire pits.
Yep.
And when I tell you city officials have stopped what they're doing, come out to the
Yes.
market to see what I was talking about, what I needed, when I needed it, followed up with me in email, followed up with me even when I wasn't returning their emails, calling me and not charging us a thing, and just
Wow.
kind of saying yes to everything. Even Mayor Wanda showing up last
Yes,
minute
she did.
to the Christmas tree
Yes, she
lighting.
did.
So I know that
Shout out to Mayor Wanda.
there's a lot of contention and back and forth over the years regarding the market, but they have been, every department in the city has
Absolutely.
been not only helpful, but has mentored me, has guided me, and has not been difficult in any way. So
That's
I
amazing.
want to acknowledge that.
What an amazing testimony. That's wonderful. And so you are open one more day a week. And
We're
And we
trying.
talked a little bit about that. So how is that shift landing with vendors and customers so far?
Vendors are reluctant. They're kind of, if they see it, they will come.
Right.
So the
So-
foot
so true
traffic is
because
not there.
At YPOC, after after the party. People were like, well, how come you guys didn't invite us to stay? It was
Right.
after.
Right.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
but you're
no, no,
saying
absolutely.
the foot
Vendors
traffic
are-
is not there
so
so
the
far.
vendors, on a great side for them, they're all independent business owners and they all have their own lease, which means they don't have to come in on Wednesdays.
Right, right, right.
Because their lease says Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On the great side for us means that, like, I'm in charge of the building, and if I say we're open Wednesdays, we're open Wednesdays.
Right.
For the customers, not so great for you because you can walk in on a Wednesday and someone can be open this Wednesday and close the next.
Correct.
Right? So there's no consistency. I was really hoping that the holiday spirit would inject themselves into all of the vendors and they would just perk up and be here every Wednesday. That has not happened.
Right.
They are tired.
Yeah.
It is the last month of the year. But it is an additional day for them to make revenue. Not all of our vendors are senior vendors. Not all of them are 10, 15 years, and some of them are celebrating their first year here.
Absolutely.
About 2 or 3 of them. And so we want to give them an opportunity to make more revenue. This year, I think financially, for most Americans, has been hard,
Absolutely.
especially for small business owners. And so we're going to continue to do the Wednesdays. I hope that we can transition to a winter Wednesday.
Yeah.
And, you know, worst comes to worst, then you'll just see random events on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And
Which
we're-
sounds fun
yeah.
to me.
I think previously, before I even moved here, I think there was a lot of foot traffic because of the state workers.
Oh, yes.
For that lunch hour, for that
Yes.
happy hour time of day, that 12 to 1 and that 4 to 6.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I know there's a lot of conversation about remote
Work and stuff.
changing a lot drastically in the next few months.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that picks up. I've been seeing a lot of blazers and slacks
Yeah.
the last week or two in the middle of the day. So that's always a good sign. But I think the more foot traffic that we're bringing into the city by just being open helps.
Absolutely.
Every little bit helps.
And campaign season is coming up, so
Sure
look out for
enough.
that. 2026 is going to be a big year, and a lot
Yeah.
of people are going to be here. So, as we come to a close in our interview,
Yes, ma'am.
how can Harrisburg support you and the market? What's one small community action that would make a big difference right now?
This is going to sound a little controversial,
Uh-oh.
and I've said this off the record to a few people. I think that the city of Harrisburg and their residents have done enough, have consistently, when I just watch the amount of money people spend at this market every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to support this market through COVID, then a fire,
Yeah.
and a tent.
Yeah. And it's it.
And, you know, it's still 160 years old, you know.
Yeah.
And people are driving, which means they could drive anywhere for food, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And they're driving into the middle of the city. I would rally around us leaning towards support outside of Harrisburg, to the West Shore,
Ooh.
to the outer cities, to the county as a whole, to the state as a whole, to encourage more tourism to this market. It is the oldest continuously market in the country. And I look at our competition as Reading Terminal. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. And so I think the residents of Harrisburg have done more than enough, more than I could even imagine. I think they should relax. When you have family in town, bring them.
Yeah.
When you have people coming over, bring them. But encourage the city, encourage the county, encourage the state to pour more attention into the tourism center of the city.
I love that. That's really good. And if people want to support you and help you, how can they contact you?
Well, usually they've just been showing up and walking upstairs to my office and opening the door. And so that I haven't had to worry about how people can contact me because they just find me. But I have an email address.
Okay, got it.
And
I
so
got it.
it is manager at Broad Street Market. You will see me at the market a lot on the floor. .org.
Okay.
You
Manager
can call,
at broadstreetmarket.org.
Yes, you can come and you can talk to me and we can exchange phone numbers. Usually the best days to just show up are Tuesday, Wednesday, outside of the market hours. However, in the winter months, it is a little bit slower. So if you want to pop upstairs from now until spring, that's fine too. I'm always good for a chit chat and a conversation.
Absolutely is.
Yeah.
She certainly is. Well, this has been quite delightful.
It has been.
I just want to say my personal experience with Sherri has been somebody who is ready to collaborate, is thinking big, and really, I haven't found another person who thinks as big as you do besides like literally Boss Air, because I don't even think that big, and I think pretty big. But so I just want to say thank you for all that you're bringing to Harrisburg. Thank you for collaborating with YPOC. You know, that's our baby, and we've built it up to try and do a lot of things that you're doing. Okay. So I feel like it was, I don't know, a natural fit.
Absolutely.
So thank you for bringing this energy and this expertise and just everything to the market and to Harrisburg.
I appreciate that so much.
It's quite
it
fabulous.
Has been fun. Harrisburg is you know that saying of like, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Yeah. And also Harrisburg.
And also Harrisburg.
And also Harrisburg.
And also
yes.
Harrisburg.
I've definitely
100%.
taken the training wheels off.
That's right. That's right.
So it's been a great run, and 2026 should be interesting. So
it should be very interesting.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yes.
On the market.
It's going to be interesting, and I will be there a lot more. I got to drag myself down there from all the way in Shipoke. It's so far.
And in 2027 we'll have a new building.
That's
so
right.
I feel like this.
Really
even
nice.
With the crumbling and the tumbling of this week.
I feel like half the wall's about to crumble sometime.
This is such a nostalgic, historical
Absolutely.
time because no one else will experience
this.
What the before.
Yes.
Once that building is complete, it will
It'll
always be the after.
That. Yes.
So I
so
think
having been in the brick building,
yeah.
as someone who's been in the brick building, experienced that, I agree. I remember for a long time, maybe for a year, I would go to the stone building and be confused for like a good 20 minutes because I couldn't fathom yet that the brick building wasn't there anymore. I was like, oh, I'm gonna come over to the stone building because the beer's here, and then I'm gonna walk to every week for a while, walk over, you know. So yeah, but I'm just glad to see that. I'm glad that the market is in the hands of a capable leader, right?
Thank you.
I'm very, very excited about that.
Thank you.
So shout out to Sherri, and we're gonna see you around the marketplace.
Yes, you will.
Amen to that. Well, all right. Thank you guys for watching this very informative and important and kind of fun interview with Sherri and the Broad Street Market manager, and we will be right back after a couple of messages. See you soon.
Helen Peguero is a Latina teacher with a specialization in bilingual special education. With a passion for supporting children from immigrant families, she helps them embrace their identities amidst the diverse cultural landscape of the U.S. Her bilingual children's book, Elena and Her Curly Adventures, aims to teach young readers the importance of self-love and acceptance. Through her work, she empowers children to celebrate their uniqueness and thrive in a multicultural world. To purchase Elena and Her Curly Adventures, you can visit Amazon or www.helenpeguero.
I built my coffee shop from the ground up. Every penny counts. So these tariffs are creating chaos. Coffee beans are imported. I can't afford to pay the tariffs out of pocket. These tariffs have the potential to destroy my business. But Congressman Scott Perry supported the tariffs. They're another tax driving up costs on small businesses like mine to give tax cuts to big corporations and billionaires. Scott Perry should be looking out for small businesses instead of big corporations. I wish Scott Perry was looking out for us.
Well, Well, welcome back to the Black News Beat, and we have a very special treat for you. I was blessed enough to interview the one, the only AKBAR Ali, the youngest state representative elected to State House in Georgia. Oh my goodness. And we had the chance to sit down today and have a little bit of a conversation. So I wanted you guys to see that really fast, but I want to read his bio if my phone will let me. There we go. AKBAR Ali is Georgia's newest state representative and will be sworn in tomorrow. Yes, after winning a runoff election that made history. At just 21 years old, the Gwinnett County Democrat becomes the youngest lawmaker ever elected to the Georgia General Assembly. Wow! His victory brings a fresh next-generation voice to the State House with a focus on lowering costs for families. Yes, strengthening public schools and expanding access to health care. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Black News Beat, Mr. State Representative AKBAR Ali. And today we're talking with State Representative Ali out of the great state of Georgia. And we're going to let him tell us all about his amazing win in Georgia and why his win is so historic. Welcome to the Black News Beat, Representative Ali.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
So today we are talking historic wins. Tell us your district and tell us why your win was so historic.
So yeah, I represent District 106 in the Georgia General Assembly. So I am a state representative, not to be confused with Congress. I'm not being shipped up to DC. And this district is the suburbs of Atlanta. And it is the most diverse state house district in the entire state of Georgia, with a breakdown of 26% Black, 30% white, 25 Hispanic, and 18 Asian. And part of the reason, and that's only one of the reasons why this is a very historic campaign and victory. Around 2 weeks ago, I won a special election because my mentor, the previous representative, Shelley Hutchinson, chose to retire. And since the special election concluded, I'm grateful to have been elected the new representative. And I am also the youngest in Georgia's entire history at age 21. But I am also currently the youngest Democratic state assemblyman in the entire nation.
Oh my goodness. That is wow. That is more than I thought. That is very historic. You're 21 years old. I don't think I know any 21 years old who's accomplished as much as you have by the time they turn 21. So congratulations to you. And I just want you to tell us, how was that special election? Because I know special elections are a compacted time. It's a lot harder to traverse the universe of votes that you need to get in order to win. So talk to me about that. How was your campaign?
Yeah, we had to get started and get set up extremely quickly. I'm grateful for all the work in the community that I had done and that people recognized it. I feel like that was a big part of my win. I mean, I've been holding pro-choice marches, climate marches, and just advocacy when it comes to maternal mortality within our state as well, even before I could vote. And I'm glad that people in the community saw that, and that helped with us getting set up and starting this neighborhood campaign, so to speak. We focused very much on neighborhood issues, things such as that maternal mortality within our state, which is, I believe we are bottom 5 within the entire United States as to the death of mothers, specifically Black mothers, that do not make it past the birthing process. But that, along with homeowners association reform, lowering property tax, focusing on lowering costs, that's kind of what all of our campaigns centered on. A lot of times people get misconstrued saying that social media can win a campaign, when in reality, I think that you need that, but you also need to talk to people door to door. That's what a lot of our campaigns centered on. We knocked 10,000 doors. We talked to thousands of people on the phone, creating.
Wow. So yes, I was just saying wow to your 10,000 doors. That's amazing. I completely agree with you about making sure that folks actually do the door to door. I was an organizer. My first campaign was in 2008 on the Obama campaign. And that is the way that we learned.
But unfortunately, a lot of folks, especially leading up to 2020, and of course we had very different circumstances in 2020. I think the pandemic and some other issues made folks think that we were transitioning into a digital campaign world. And we found out pretty quickly in the years subsequent to that that was not the case. So talk to us a little bit more and talk to folks who may want to run for office about why door knocking is essential to winning a campaign.
Right. We saw this throughout the country and with elections in November, including myself, where, as I said, it's misconstrued where digital presence is, although that is very important. Do not neglect that. It is what people-to-people connection, going one handshake at a time, is really like all about. We saw that in New York with Mayor Mamdani. We saw that in Virginia with Governor Spanberger, and in New Jersey with Governor Sherrill.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Néstor Romero. Nuestro objetivo es el servicio a la comunidad que desea tener su casa propia. Contar con un hogar es muy importante para nosotros, por ello estoy preparándome cada día más para servirles con todo profesionalismo y responsabilidad para que ustedes, mis clientes, se sientan satisfechos con mi trabajo. Junto con mi equipo estamos listos para prestarles todos nuestros servicios. Nuestro equipo puede orientarles y llenar sus expectativas de todas las personas interesadas en comprar y vender una casa. Cuentan con mis conexiones, inspectores, prestamistas, constructores y carpinteros quienes están dispuestos a hacer realidad sus sueños, si se puede.
Welcome back to the Black News Beat, and we are here for Last Lap. If you enjoyed that part of the interview with AKBAR Ali, Mr. Ali, who is the brand new representative in Georgia, youngest one to ever do it at 21 years old, please catch the rest of it on YouTube, LinkedIn, and other places we'll put it up. Please enjoy that interview. I had a wonderful time interviewing him. So we have made it to Last Lap, and I just wanted to tell you guys that we have made it through season 5. We are at the end of the last show of season 5. And what makes that special is the community, people. It's so funny. Every time I think somebody's not watching the show, somebody will call me. Several people will call me. Well, I saw what you said on the show, and I just want to let you know. And I always say to those people, come on the show. Tell us the differing perspective. Tell us the opposing view, because we want to know. But also, thank you for watching. Like, I'm always honored when I hear that. Apparently, some of y'all be like clipping it, like screen recording it and sending it, and that's nice and all. But like, if you would watch the show, then we would get the views. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and do that. But thank you for doing that too, because it does get the word out about the show. So it's that time of year again, and we're doing this for Last Lap. Our page on Black News Beat page is running the Leave It in 2025 and Take It into 2026 series. It's a time of hope and reflection, a chance to be kind and gentle about how we're remembering what we did in 2025, and being intentional about how we show up and what we take into 2026. So we're naming the habits we're dropping, and we are naming the blessings we are bringing, into 2026. So here are a few of mine from the page. And I really like doing this every year because it helps me like consciously and physically and emotionally and mentally leave and take things. So that's why I named it that. And it also came from I don't remember the lady who was always stepping into the new year, and they were like just change some stuff about her. So like it's also a play on that, and I'll put that meme up for us. So the first thing I said this year, so I started today. I tried to start 2 weeks out from the new year, not on the 15th because that's 2 weeks and like 2 days, and it's too long to do it. So 2 weeks out of the new year, I start 2 weeks out from the new year, and the first thing I wrote was, your misunderstandings about me, I'm leaving that in 2025. Yep. People who intentionally look for the good in me, I'm taking that into 2026. Another, feeling sorry for younger me. I think she's proud of me, so I'm leaving that feeling sorry in 2025. And 2026, what I'm taking on that one is my glow up. Everything to do with shedding fear and embracing courage. That's what I'm taking into 2026. And those ones have meant a lot to me in that as Harrisburg isn't new anymore, but coming into a new place, you have to try so many different things to get acclimated to a place. And one of the things I tried was YPOC, right? We literally made an organization, and it wasn't us alone. There were some folks, shout out to Mike Billingsley, shout out to Victoria, shout out to Ebony Robinson, and a few others, Kel, who had just some meetings in their backyard and were gathering people together, and they called them Young Black Professionals of Color. And we came along and we looked at the city landscape, and Mike Billingsley left it to us and said, do something good with it. And we renamed it Young Professionals of Color, Greater Harrisburg, to include the 78% Black and Hispanic, Asian, BIPOC folks that exist here. So with that, we are going into our 10th year as YPOC. Our birthday is on June the 12th. Yeah. So I'm learning the lessons from that. I'm gonna try to be courageous and brave and bring that into the new year with us. So I'll just take a moment and ask, anybody leaving anything in 2025?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave self-doubt.
The
negative stuff in my head.
Can I say your name?
Yeah.
So Arona's here. Shout out to Arona. She is our Culture and Creativity Chair. And she says she is leaving self-doubt in 2025, period. So if you're leaving that, what are you taking?
Belief in my intuition and vision.
Ooh, yes. And she is taking into 2026 belief in her intuition and vision. That's nice. I like that a lot. That was very good. Anybody else? What are we leaving in 2025? What are you taking into 2026? I won't look anybody directly in the face.
My raggedy ass job at the Department of War.
Yes! Can I say your name? I can say Azul. So Azul is leaving her raggedy ass job at the Department of War. Amen. Amen. And what are you taking into 2026?
My bravery is I make
Woo!
big changes.
Big changes. So we're leaving behind the raggedy ass job and we're taking into 2026 bravery, which you always need when you make a life change, right? Especially like leaving a job. So shout out to Azul. Amazing. Anybody else? Rob? Rich?
Did you call me Rob?
I did. I got to miss it with a black guy, but we're not going to talk about that.
Well, I mean, I think I left my comfort zone in 2025.
Yes, you did.
You know, I'm basically taking that into 2026, just living outside it.
I love that. So Rich is here. So Rich and I met on the Kamala Harris campaign, and folks are like, who is this white guy that just be coming to all your stuff? And I was like, that's my friend. And that's how I do it, with the finger. And he says he is leaving his comfort zone in 2025, and he is taking into 2026, living outside of that comfort zone and just making that the norm. I like it.
I like it too.
I like that.
Good time.
All right, you ready? Because it's your turn. You're the only one that hasn't gone.
I'm leaving the idea that you have no control over time.
Leaving the idea, Sherry, our marketing manager says, we're leaving the idea we have no control over time.
And I'm taking into 2026 shouting out your supporters.
Yes. Taking it to 2026, shouting out to supporters. I love that. A lot of times we be talking about the haters, but man, F them haters. Okay, we got to talk about the supporters and how they're the ones who push us through. I'm taking that too. I'm going to steal that. I'm going to steal that and take it with me. I'm not going to steal it. We're just going to share it. That was great. I also said on my Facebook page, ask that man for money on the first date. When he asks if money is all you care about, say yes. Be honest. Okay. Take that into 2026, all right? And leave behind the coy foolishness, okay? Just don't take that with you. And then the last thing that I thought was, and me, I'm taking me into 2026. I intentionally take myself every year because sometimes we tend to forget about what we need and what we like and what we want and our own dreams, and we are looking bigger into the community, especially people who are always organizing and doing those things. So I'm taking me and my wants and my needs and my likes and my dislikes. I'm taking me. Amen. And this one generated a lot of conversation on the page. And it was, I am leaving behind the fear of death. I've feared it intensely for so long, it's time to live. And this one really resonated with the crew, with our community. And a lot of us in our community have experienced death in very crazy ways this year, Harrisburg and beyond. I mean, just Harrisburg alone, right? And then in our respective families. People don't know this about me, but I have obsessed about death since I was probably 12. And it was because my Auntie Merle, God rest her, she was the first person that I had lived with that had passed away. And so I've just been like, what's it gonna be like? What's gonna happen with it? Will I have enough time before I die to do the things I wanna do? And I decided that, and this year was particularly a kind of a resurgence of that with all the death we've had in our community and in my family. And I've just decided I don't wanna take that into 2026. I want to live in 2026. And some of our folks responded to that. Relatable says, my very lovely darling, Tipsy Auntie, the older I get, seeing friends pass away, it weighs heavy on my mind. Same. Axel Norris, one of my favorite people on the entire planet and on Facebook, every time I think about how middle age is actually closer to 38 to 40 and not 50, like popular media likes to pretend, I'm like, wow, half of it is already over. Yep. One of my favorite people, Journeyman, and from the Journeyman Chronicles and podcast, who he hosted me on his show a few years ago, he says, I don't think I can ever stop fearing it. Real. Ever since I was little, and honestly, the older I get, the more self-aware I am of how special it is to be alive. Because once this is it, this is it. So I definitely think of it and fearful of passing away too soon. Agreed. And I wanted to read that one because we've had people who've died young in our community this year, and it has been devastating, devastating. We shouted out Solera Man, we shouted out Twin Noon, Avery, we shouted out so many people in our community who've died young. And someone says, and I'll read this one last, someone says, please, live, live, live. I love this, and I almost cried reading it because it was just so good. The love of my world is slowly leaving this world. Lewy body, dementia, Parkinson's is taking over every day. He's only 66, and the doctor said he's young. I know we have under 3 left, if that. Next month, we celebrate 39 years of marriage and 49 years of being together. If you really want to do something, folks, do it. Live, live, live. And on that note, I feel like that's the call of the day. The call of the day is to live, live, live. And so however you do it, live, live, live. If you're a hater, I want you to live it up and be the most live it up hater of all time, okay? Because I know I'm going to do it. Whatever it is you excel at, do it. If you're Donald Trump, you know, maybe you will live to see a better day because you're a terrible person. But anyway, I wish people to live a better life. I wish it for all of us. And I want this one to resonate with all of you because I'm leaving the fear of death in 2025. I'm gonna do my best. I know I'm having some relapses. And I just thank you guys in the community on Facebook and everyone who had the courage and community around that to really affirm that. So thank you for that today. That really meant a lot to me. So keep them coming. I'm gonna make a few reels out to New Year's to read the best ones daily and shout out folks. If you want yours read on air or on live, post under the hashtags, hashtag leave it in 2025, hashtag take it into 2026, and tag the Black News Beat, and I'll read those for you. So this is our season 5 finale. I know I said it 5 times, but I'm surprised too. Thank you, Harrisburg, for showing up, for having a heart, for every watch, for every share, and every time that you come to the studio and pulled up. We'll see you in season 6 with more news, more neighbors, and the same love for the 717. Because you all know I love it here. That's what I do. I am, as people will tell me, I'm not from here, but I stay repping, and I mean that. And until then, just know we can never have made it this far without you. This is the last show of 2025, the last show of season 5. So big up yourselves, clap for yourselves, and love on yourselves. You guys are amazing. You guys are wonderful. Without community, we would not be. So this has been season 5 of the Black News Beat. Good night.